Now imagine this, you're a German car manufacturer, best known for flat six boxer engines. Your entire brand image is based on tightly wound engineering, unflappable reliability, and a design language that hasn't really changed since the Beetle was delivered. And then one day, for reasons that are still somewhere between corporate lunacy and divine inspiration, you build a naturally aspirated V10 that screams like a banshee on bath salts. This is the story of Porsche's V10, a power plant so wildly unlike anything else the brand stands for, it may as well have been developed on another planet. But here's the best part, this thing was never meant to exist. So let me tell you all about it. Now to get to the beginning, we need to journey back to the 1980s. Picture this, shoulder pads, and cars with pop-up headlights. Porsche, despite having won just about everything else that matters, had another itch, Formula 1. At that time, they had built one of the most violent little motors to ever grace the sport, the TTE Pure 1, a 1.5-liter V6 turbo, developed by none other than Hans Mesger, the same guy who basically is Porsche Motorsports. This motor was then stuffed inside McLaren's MP4-2. This engine wasn't just good. It was a volcano with a crankshaft. It made 1,000 horsepower from 1.5 liters, which is more specific output than your average black hole. But then, predictably, the FIA did what it always does when racing gets exciting. It banned turbochargers in 1989. So Mesger and his team, not once to leave a good idea alone, decided to stitch together two of these V6s to make a naturally aspirated 3.5-liter V12. The resulting engine, codenamed 3512, was a bit of a disaster. Heavy, underpowered, and as reliable as a politician. It was then shoved into a car by Footwork Aeros in 1991. This wasn't so much a race effort as it was a public shaming. The thing had all the stamina of an asthmatic hamster and would routinely blow itself to bits before reaching the checkered flag. By mid-season, Aeros had enough. Porsche got the boot and the 3512 got yeeted into the bin. And here's where things gets interesting. Instead of giving up, Porsche had a brainwave. Why not turn this failed V12 into a V10? No one really knows why. Perhaps they thought 10 cylinders was the Goldilocks number, or maybe they just didn't want to admit defeat, but the V10 was built. Smaller, lighter, and better. Unfortunately though, by this point, no one in Formula 1 wanted to touch anything from Porsche. The phone never rang, the engine never got used, and once again, it was shelved. Fast forward to the late 1990s. Porsche had already made their mark at Le Mans, mostly with flat sixes and twin-turbo V8s. But they wanted more. They wanted to beat the likes of Toyota, BMW, and yes, even Audi, with a clean sheet LMP prototype. This was the 9R3 project, or the LMP 2000. Originally, the engineers wanted to use a flat six engine again, because of course they did. It's a Porsche. But the problem was, the flat six was too chunky. It was like trying to fit a piano inside a phone booth. So what did they do? They remembered the V10. The one that had been collecting dust in the back room like a forgotten relic from Indiana Jones's warehouse. Motorsport boss Herbert Amferer brought the V10 back to life. It was now a 5.5-liter screamer, redesigned for endurance racing and fitted into a cutting-edge carbon fiber monocoque with aerodynamics that could slice a man in half. Test drivers Alan McNish and Bob Wallach drove the LMP car and returned babbling like lunatics. It was quick, astonishingly quick. And then, just when the project was getting ready to race, Ferdinand Piëch, the emperor of Volkswagen Group, said no. Apparently, VW didn't want Porsche to humiliate Audi at Le Mans, so the LMP car was shelved again. V10 denied a second time. You really couldn't make this up. But Porsche, as you'll now realize, is that guy who insists on finishing a crossword even after spilling his coffee all over it and losing half of the clues. You see, when the 2000 Paris Motor Show came around, Porsche wanted something flashy, something fast, something that would make people forget about the SUV it was secretly building behind closed doors. Instead of modifying a 911 or slapping a wing on a Boxster, they decided to go completely mad and build a supercar from scratch with the orphaned V10 at its core. The Carrera GT concept was unveiled with this shrieking 5.5-liter monster in the middle. People lost their minds, so much so Porsche realized they had no choice but to build it. But because the concept engine was still motorsports derived with a bit of a drinking problem, Porsche had to make it road legal. The V10 grew to 5.7 liters. It kept all of its aluminium construction, its 68-degree bank angle, and picked up a chain-driven dual overhead cam valve train with variable valve timing on the intake cams. It got sodium-cooled exhaust valves and revved to 8,400 RPM. Not quite racing spec, but still high enough to shatter your spleen with the noise. And the sound. Holy balls, the sound. It's not just mechanical, it's spiritual. It's as if the car is yelling at you in a perfect German opera while simultaneously trying to kill you. 603 horsepower, 3.5 seconds 0 to 60, and a 205 mph top speed. It wasn't the most powerful car of its era, or the most advanced, or the easiest to drive, but it was real. It had a clutch that hated you, a gear stick, and a traction control system that didn't work all that well. And yet, despite all of that, the Carrera GT went around the Nürburgring in 7 minutes and 28 seconds, with rally legend Walter Röhrl at the helm. This wasn't just a fast car, it was a full-on icon. Now, the Porsche V10 has since become something of a holy relic, not because it won races, because it didn't, not because it was fitted in dozens of models, because it wasn't, and not because it was particularly sensible. No, it's revered because it shouldn't exist. It was born from failure, nurtured in secret, shelved repeatedly, rejected by racing, discarded by Formula One, strangled by corporate politics, and resurrected not once but twice, until finally finding a home in what is arguably Porsche's most raw and thrilling road car ever built. Every other Porsche engine follows a narrative. Flat 6, turbocharged, logical, dependable. The V10 is the angry, wailing, irrational outcast that screams at 8,000 RPM and has to be driven like you're in a duel with the Grim Reaper. And the fact that this thing exists at all, well, that's just glorious. But at the end of this video, please let me know what you guys think of the Carrera GT and its V10. Now, I have made a video in the past on the Carrera GT and how dangerous this car is, because if you didn't know, this car has a bit of a reputation for losing rear end traction at high speeds, but even with that, this car still remains an icon. They are stupidly expensive, and I think the biggest part to that is the manual gearbox and the insane sound that this V10 produces. But yeah, at the end of this video, please let me know what you guys thought. And if you guys enjoyed this video, please have a like and subscribe to the channel. Now, if you guys did like this video, you'll most probably enjoy most of my other stuff. So just go through my channel, see if there's someone else to like, or check you guys in the next one. Cheers, eh?